Hey there, young money masters! Welcome to the ABCs of Finance for Kids, where we make money talk simple and fun. Today, let's learn about the letter A. A is for assets. So what are assets? Imagine you have a treasure chest. Inside, you keep all the things that are valuable to you. That treasure chest are your assets. Assets is anything that you own that has value. Example, your bicycle, your favorite toys, or even the money in your piggy bank. All of those are assets. Let's say you have a lemonade stand. Your table, lemons, and cups are your assets. You use them to make and sell lemonade. Pretty cool, right? Now you know assets are valuable things you own. So, what are your favorite assets? Let us know and stay tuned for the next episode. Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we're exploring the letter B. And B is for budget. A budget is a plan for your money. Imagine you get some pocket money or earn a little by helping out at home. A budget helps you decide how much to save, spend, or share. Let's say you get 10 coins. You could save 5 coins in your piggy bank, spend 3 coins on your favorite candy, and share 2 coins with someone who needs it. That's budgeting. Families use budgets too. They plan on how much to spend on food, clothes, and fun activities. By sticking to a budget, they make sure you don't run out of money before the end of the month. So remember, a budget's your money plan. What would you put in your budget jars? Think about it. And join us next time on another fun episode of the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hey there, young money champs! Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today's letter is C. It stands for, drumroll please, cash flow. Cash flow is a fancy way of saying how money moves in and out of your hands. Imagine it's like a river of money flowing. Money comes in when you earn or get it, and money goes out when you spend it. Let's say you get $5 for helping with chores. That's money flowing in. Then you use $3 to buy a toy. That's money flowing out. And the leftover $2? That's called your cash balance. For a business, cash flow works the same way. When the lemonade stand sells drinks, money flows in. When you buy lemons and cups, money flows out. If they have money left after their spending, that means the cash flow is positive, which is a good thing. So remember, cash flow is all about how money moves in and out. What's your cash flow today? Think about it. And join us next time on another fun episode of the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today on the ABCs of Finance for Kids, we're talking about the letter D. And D is for debt. Debt happens when you borrow something, like money, and promise to pay it back later. Imagine your friend lends you $1 to buy a snack. You're in debt until you give the dollar back. Debt isn't always bad. Sometimes people or businesses borrow money to do something important, like buy a house or start a company. It's super important to pay back what you borrow. You've seen your parents use a credit card? That's another kind of debt. They borrow money from the bank to buy things, then pay it back later. If you don't pay it back on time, they might have to pay extra money called interest. So remember, debt is borrowing money you need to pay back. Always borrow wisely. Thanks for watching and join us next time on the ABCs of Finance for Kids.
Hello, young financial explorers! Welcome to another episode of ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we'll be looking at the letter E. E is for expenses. Expenses are the things you spend your money on. Imagine you have an allowance and you use some of the money to buy your favorite snack or a new toy. That money is spent? Those are expenses. Expenses can be small, like buying candy, or big, like paying for a trip to an amusement park. Families also have expenses, like paying for food, electricity, and school supplies. Here's a tip. can be divided into two groups: needs and wants. Needs are things you can't live without, like food and clothes. Wants are things that are nice to have, like toys and video games. It's important to balance your spending so you can always cover for your needs first. So, expenses are what you spend your money on. What's your biggest expense? Think about it and join us next time on another fun episode on ABCs of Finance for Kids. Bye bye! Hey there, future money experts! Welcome to another fun episode of ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we're on letter F. F is for finance. Finance is a big word, but it's all about how we manage our money. Imagine you're planning for a party, and you need to decide on how much to spend on balloons, snacks, and games. That's finance in action. Finance is all about saving and making money grow. Remember that piggy bank? When you save money and watch it grow over time, you're using financial skills. Banks, businesses, and even countries use finance to make smart money choices. They save and invest.
Hello, awesome learners! Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today's letter is G, and G is for gross income. Gross income is the total money you earn before anything is taken away. Imagine you have a job, like walking dogs, and you earn $10. That $10 is your gross income. But wait, sometimes you have to pay for things like taxes or other costs. The money left after those payments is called net income. So, gross income is like the whole pie before you slice it. Businesses also have gross income. It's all the money you make from selling things before you pay for their expenses. Knowing their gross income helps them figure out how well they're doing. So, gross income is all the money you earn before costs. What's the first thing you do with your gross income? Think about it and join us next time for another fun episode of ABCs of Finance for Kids. Bye for now! Welcome back, clever kids! It's time for another episode of ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today's letter is H, and H stands for hedge. Hedge? What does that mean? Well, hedging is like building a safety net for your money. Imagine you're riding a bike and you put on a helmet. That helmet protects you just in case you fall. A hedge protects your money from risks. People hedge by making smart decisions with their money. For example, if you have a lemonade stand, you might buy extra lemons when they're on sale. That way, if the price goes up later, you're already prepared. Farmers hedge by planting different kinds of crops. If one crop doesn't grow well, they still have others to sell. Businesses do the same thing by spreading out their investments to protect themselves. So remember, hedging is all about protecting your money from risks. How would you build a safety net for your money? Think about it and join us next time for the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Bye bye! Hey there, young learners! Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we're exploring the letter I. I is for, drumroll please, interest. So what is interest? Well, imagine you lend your friend some money to buy a toy, and they promise to give it back to you, plus a little extra is a thank you for lending it. That extra money is called interest. Now, here's how it works in the grown-up world. If you put your money into a savings account at a bank, the bank uses your money to help others. In return, they give you a little extra money called interest. Cool, right? But interest works in other ways too. If you borrow money from the bank, you'll have to pay them back with extra money, which is also called interest. That's why it's important to borrow wisely. So, interest can help you grow your money if you save, but it can also cost you more if you borrow. So, it's like two sides of the same coin, and there you have it. Interest is the extra money earned or paid when money is borrowed or saved. And what would you do with the extra money you earn? Let us know, and don't forget to join us next time on another exciting episode in the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hey there, future professionals! Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we're diving into the letter J. J is for job. So, what is a job? A job is work you do to earn money. Think of it as a way to trade your time and skills for something in return, like helping someone clean their yard or delivering newspapers. Jobs can come in all shapes and sizes. Some people work in offices, like teachers or doctors. Others work outdoors, like farmers or builders. And guess what? You can have a job too, like babysitting, walking dogs, or even selling lemonade. Jobs are important because it teaches responsibility, helps work with others, and how to save and spend wisely. Plus, they're a great way to learn on what you're good at and how you enjoy doing. So, a job is work you do to earn money and learn valuable skills. What kind of job would you like to have one day? Think about it. Soon see you again in another fun episode of the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Bye bye! Young entrepreneurs, welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we're looking at the letter K, and K is for Know Your Customer. So what does Know Your Customer mean? Well, if you're running a business, it's important to understand who's buying your products or services. Knowing your customer means learning what they like, what they need, or how you can help them. For example, if you have a lemonade stand, your customers might prefer their lemonade extra sweet. And if you know that, you can make the lemonade that they'll love and they'll keep coming back. Businesses spend time getting to know their customers. They might ask questions, run surveys, or even just talk to people. The better you understand your customers, the better you can serve them. It's not just about your business. Knowing what people around you like or need helps you be thoughtful and kind. It's a skill that's useful in everyday life too. So remember, knowing your customer is all about understanding what people need and want. And what do you think your customers would want if you run a business? Think about it and join us next time on another fun episode on the ABCs of Finance for Kids.
Hello, brilliant learners! Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today's letter is L, and it stands for liability. What's a liability? Well, it's a big word that means something you owe or are responsible for. Imagine you borrow your friend's soccer ball. You're responsible for returning it, right? That responsibility is a liability. For grown-ups in businesses, liabilities usually mean money you owe. For example, if your parents borrow money from the bank to buy a car, they have to pay back. That borrowed money is called a liability. Businesses also have liability. Let's say a bakery buys flour on credit to bake bread. They have to pay for the flour later. So it's a liability until it's paid off. Liabilities aren't always bad. They can help people or businesses do big things, like buying a house or starting a company. But it's important to keep track of them and make sure they don't get too big. So remember, a liability is something you owe or are responsible for. What's some of the things you've borrowed or returned? Think about it and join us next time on another fun episode on ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hey there, future money makers! Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we're talking about the letter M. M is for money. So what is money? Money is what we use to buy things we need or want. It can be coins, paper bills, or even numbers on a screen. A long time ago, people didn't use money. Instead, they traded things, like trading apples for bananas. But it wasn't always easy. What if a person with bananas didn't want apple? That's why money was invented. To make trading simple, money has 3 important jobs. First, it's a way to buy things. Second, it helps us know how much something is worth. And third, it lets us save for the future. Today, money comes in all forms: cash, credit cards, and even digital money, like mobile money and apps. No matter the form, money is an important tool that helps us live and grow. So remember, money is what we use to trade, save, and measure value. What's the first thing you'd buy if you had money today? Think about it and join us next time on another fun episode in the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hey there, young money experts! Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today's letter is N. It stands for net worth. So what's net worth? It's like figuring out how much treasure you really have. Your net worth is the total value you own, called assets, minus what you owe, called liabilities. Let's break it down. Imagine you have a bicycle, some toys, and $50 in your piggy bank. Those are your assets. But wait, if you borrowed $10 from your friend to buy a video game, that's your liability. To find your net worth, you subtract the $10 that you owe from the $100 you own. That leaves you with a net worth of $90. Pretty easy, right? Families and businesses calculate their net worth too. Knowing your net worth helps you understand how healthy your finances are. If your assets are bigger than your liabilities, your net worth is positive. Yay! But if your liabilities are bigger, it's time to work on reducing what you owe. So net worth is all about the value of what you own minus what you owe. What's in your treasure chest? Think about it and join us next time on another episode on the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hello, young explorers! Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we're diving into the letter O, and O is for opportunity. Opportunity is all about making choices. Every time you decide to do one thing, you give up the chances to do something else. That's called an opportunity cost. Let's say you have enough money to buy one ice cream cone. You choose to buy chocolates. That means you miss out on vanilla. The vanilla you didn't pick is the opportunity cost of choosing chocolate. It's not just about money. Opportunities are about time, energy, and choices too. Imagine you have an hour to either play soccer or study for your math test. If you choose soccer, the opportunity cost is the time you didn't spend studying. Every business faces opportunities. Let's say your lemonade stand makes profit. You can either use it to buy more lemons or save it in your piggy bank. Whichever option you choose or pick becomes the opportunity cost. So, opportunities are all about making choices and understanding what you give up. What's the next opportunity you'll grab? Think about it. Join us next time in another exciting episode on the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hey there, young treasure hunters! Welcome to another sparkling episode of the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we're talking about the letter P. And P is for precious metal. Precious metals are kinds of valuable metals, which are rare and valuable. Can you guess some examples? They're gold, silver, and platinum. People have loved precious metals over thousands of years. Why? Because they don't rust, they look beautiful, and they're really useful. You might see them in jewelry, coins, and even electronics, like phones and computers. Gold and silver are used to make jewelry. Did you know that they're also using technology? Gold is great in making tiny wires inside gadgets, and silver is used in solar panels. Precious metals are also used as a way to save money. Instead of keeping cash, settle buy gold or silver because they hold their value over time. It's like having a shiny, solid piggy bank. So, precious metals are rare, valuable, and useful for many things. What would you do if you found gold? Dream big! Join us next time on another fun episode of ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hey there, financial explorers! Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we're exploring the letter Q. Q is for quotation. A quotation or quote is like a price tag. It tells you how much something costs or what someone's willing to pay for it. Have you ever asked, how much does this cost? That's when you're asking for a quote. For example, if you ask the price for a toy car and the shopkeeper says that it's $10, that's a quotation. Quotes are used in businesses. Imagine you're running a lemonade stand. You might decide to sell each cup for $2. That's your quotation for your lemonade. Quotations are also important for big projects. If someone wants to build a tree house, you might ask different builders for quotes. The builders will tell you how much they'll charge for the job. Even in the stock market, you'll see quotes. These show the price people are willing to pay to buy or sell a stock. It's like a big financial marketplace. So, a quotient is a price for something, whether it's a toy, a job, or even a stock. What's the last thing you'd ask for a quote on? Think about it and join us next time on another exciting episode of the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Welcome back, brilliant minds. You're watching the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we're learning about the letter R. And R is for revenue. Revenue is the money a business makes from selling things or providing services. Let's break it down. Imagine you have a lemonade stand, and every time someone buys a cup of lemonade for $2, that $2 is your revenue. If you sell 5 cups of lemonade a day for $2 each, your revenue is $10. Easy math, right? Bigger businesses have revenue too. A bakery's revenue comes from selling bread, cakes, and cookies. A bookstore's revenue comes from selling books and stationery. Every time a customer buys something, it adds to the business's revenue. Revenue is important because it helps the business know how much money they're bringing in. If revenue goes up, it means that they're selling more or charging higher prices. If it goes down, it means that they might need to change their strategy. So, revenue is the money a business earns from selling things or providing services. How would you make revenue if you had a business? Think about it. You join us next time on another fun episode with the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hey there, future finance whizzes. Welcome to another episode of the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we're talking about the letter S, and S is for stock. So, what is stock? Imagine you and your friends want to start a lemonade stand, but you need money to buy lemons, sugar, and cups. Instead of just one person paying for everything, each friend puts in some money. Now each friend owns a part of the lemonade stand. That is like they own a stock. When you own a stock of a company, it means that you own a small piece of that company. If the company does well and makes money, the value of your stock can go up. And you might even get a little extra money called a dividend. Stocks are bought and sold in a place called the stock market. It's like a big marketplace where people trade pieces of companies. Buying stocks can be a way to grow your money over time, but it also comes with risks. If a company doesn't do well, your value of your stock can go down. That's why it's important to learn about a company before you invest in its stock. Smart decisions lead to better outcomes. So, stock is like owning a small piece of a company. If you could own a stock in any company, which one would it be? Think about it. And join us next time with another exciting episode on the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hey young financial stars! Welcome back to another episode of the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today's letter is T, and T stands for tax. So, what is tax? Taxes are the money people and businesses pay to the government. This money helps to pay for things everyone uses, like schools, parks, roads, and hospitals. Imagine you have a piggy bank, and every time you earn some money, you put a small part of it inside to fix the playground or buy books for the library. This is a kind of paying taxes. When adults earn money from their jobs, a part of their earnings goes to taxes. Businesses also pay taxes when they sell things or make money. Even when you buy candy or toys, some of that money goes to taxes. Taxes are super important because they help the whole community. Without them, we don't have the things that we enjoy every day. So, taxes are money we all pay to make our communities better. If you could decide how taxes could be spent, what would you choose? Think about it. And join us next time on another exciting episode of the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hey there, young money geniuses! Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today's letter is U, and it stands for unsecured debt. Unsecured debt might sound like a big, complicated term, but don't worry, we'll break it down. Debt, as you know, is when someone borrows money and promises to pay it back. But unsecured debt means the person borrowing doesn't offer something valuable, like a house or a car, as a guarantee. Imagine you borrow your friend's toy, and promise to give it back tomorrow. That's like unsecured debt. You don't give something valuable to hold on just in case you don't return it. Instead, they trust your promise. For adults, credit cards are a common example of unsecured debt. When we use a credit card, they are borrowing money from the bank and promising to pay it back later without offering something like a car or a house as a guarantee. The tricky part about unsecured debt is that it usually comes with higher interest, extra money, you have to pay it back when you take too long. That's why it's super important to be responsible when you're borrowing money. So, unsecured debt is borrowing money without offering something valuable as a guarantee. If you ever borrow something, always remember to keep your promise and return it. Thanks for watching and join us next time on more ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hey there, smart money learners. Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today's letter is V. It stands for, drumroll please, variable cost. Variable cost might sound tricky, but it's really simple. A variable cost is the money you spend on things that change depending on how much you use or make. Let's break it down. Imagine you have a lemonade stand and you sell 1 cup of lemonade. You need 1 lemon and some sugar. But if you sell 10 cups, that means you need 10 lemons and a lot more sugar. The cost of lemons and sugar changes based on how many cups you make. That's variable cost. Here's another example. Grocery bills. If your family has a big party and lots of snacks, the cost goes up. But if it's just a normal week, the cost might be lower. That's because groceries are variable costs. They change based on how much you buy. Variable costs are different from fixed costs. Fixed costs are like rent for your lemonade stand, stay the same no matter how much you sell. But variable costs can go up and down depending on how much you need. So, variable costs are the money you spend on things that change, like ingredients or groceries. Can you think of any variable costs in your life? Keep learning and join us next time on another exciting episode on the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hello, financial adventurers. Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today's letter is W, and it stands for wallet. What's a wallet? A wallet is a special place where you keep your money and other important things safe. It can be a small pouch, a pocket, or even a digital app on your phone. Your wallet holds things like coins, paper money, and cards. But it's not just about holding money. A wallet helps you stay organized and ready to make smart money choices. Did you know there are digital wallets too? These are apps that let you store your money and pay for things online. They are just as important as regular wallets, especially as the world gets more digital. A wallet also reminds us to keep track of what we spend. When you know how much money is in your wallet, it's easier to make good choices and avoid spending too much. So, a wallet is more than just a money holder. It's a tool to help you stay organized and make smart money decisions. What's in your wallet? Think about it and join us next time on another fun episode of the ABCs of Finance for Kids. See you soon! Hey there, young explorers of the finance world. Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today's letter is X, and it stands for xenocurrency. Xenocurrency might sound like a tricky word, but it's actually simple. It's just a fancy way of saying money from another country. For example, if you live in Tanzania and someone gives you a US dollar, that's xenocurrency. Every country has its own money, called a currency. Xenocurrency is any currency that doesn't belong to your country. It's used when people travel to other countries or buy things from faraway places. For example, if you visit Kenya, you might use Kenyan shillings. If you go to Europe, you might need to use euros. Xenocurrency helps people and businesses trade all over the world. Sometimes, xenocurrency needs to be exchanged for your country's own money. This is called currency exchange. It's important to know the value of one currency compared to another. So, xenocurrency is the money from another country that helps people trade across the world. What country's money would you like to learn about? Think about it and join us next time on another fun episode on the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Hey there, young financial adventurers. Welcome back to the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today's letter is Y, and it stands for yield. Yield is a cool word that means how much money you earn from your savings or investments. Imagine you plant a tree and it grows fruits. The fruits are your yield, and that's what you get back. For example, if you put money in a savings account at a bank, the bank might give you a little extra money as a reward. That extra money is called yield. People also invest in things like businesses or stock. If those investments do well, they earn a yield in form of profits or payments called dividends. The better the investment, the bigger the yield. But remember, not all investments give the same yield. Some give little and others give a lot. It depends on how risky the investment is and how well it does. So, yield is the money you earn from saving or investing. What kind of tree would you like to grow in your financial future? Think about it and join us next time on another fun episode. Hello there, money smart kids. Welcome back to the final episode of the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Today we've reached the letter Z. It stands for zero balance account. What's zero balance account? It's a special type of bank account where the balance is always at, well, zero. But wait, how does that work? In a zero balance account, money is put in when it's needed to pay bills or make purchases. Once the money is used, the balance goes back to zero. These accounts are mostly used by businesses. They help companies stay organized by making sure money is used where it's needed and not sitting unused. Imagine you have a lemonade stand. You keep your money in a special account just to buy lemons and cups. Whenever you pay for supplies, the money is sent to your account just in time. That's how a zero balance account works. So, a zero balance account is a super smart way to manage money, especially for businesses. And with that, we've reached the end of the ABCs of Finance for Kids. Congratulations, you've learned so much about money and how it works. Remember, being smart with money is a skill that will help you forever. Thanks for joining us, and always stay curious about finance.